Welcome to the Therapy Show podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Mustard. In each episode, I interview a seasoned and knowledgeable talk therapist from the counseling world to glean valuable insights, techniques, and tools that you can apply to your practice and your life. And if you're considering a career in the counseling field or just want to hear about what it's like to be a talk therapist, then this is the podcast for you. Today, I have a special guest who's not just a fitness expert, but a beacon of motivation and a true friend. Joining me today is Laura Jones, a certified strength and conditioning coach, a former competitive cheerleader, and a passionate advocate for the transformative power of exercise on both physical and mental well-being. In this episode, Laura shares her experiences in training a diverse range of clients and her insights into the importance of resistance training for mental health. We'll explore how the simple act of going to the gym can build confidence, foster community, and improve overall life satisfaction. Laura's unique perspective on fitness as a form of ministry and her approach to coaching beyond just physical training will surely inspire you. Whether you're a fitness enthusiast, someone looking to start their fitness journey, or just curious about the intersection of physical and mental health, this episode is for you. So grab your headphones, get comfy, and let's dive into a conversation that's all about strength, resilience, and the joy of movement with the incredible Laura Jones. Well, hey, friends, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm Lisa Mustard, your host, and this week's guest is Laura Jones. Welcome, Laura. It is so great to have you.
It is great to be here with you, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm so excited for my listeners to get to know you. And Laura is a friend of mine. She called me her gym buddy. So I was like, oh yeah, she's my gym buddy. And she is an incredible personal trainer. We've only known each other a couple months, but it has been a fast friendship. And I am just so grateful to have you here today. So can you share with our listeners like who you are and what you do and how you help?
Sure. It's great to be here. And I'm so glad that you and I have met. I noticed you first as you were doing chin-ups and then later traditional pull-ups. I mean, you were just cranking them out. So I was like, I've got to know that lady. Who is that woman?
Well,
but anyway, great to be here. Yeah. So I'm a certified personal trainer and I have been in the training world since 2001.
Okay.
I train out of Baseline Fitness right now, but I also train in people's homes and sometimes online. Mm-hmm. And I've taught group fitness. I've been a strength and conditioning coach. And I also am currently teaching 2 strength and conditioning classes at a local high school here.
Right. And weren't you also a competitive cheerleader? Is that right?
Yes, way back.
Yeah.
In high school.
That's so cool.
So my cheerleading team competed. It was very, very kind of early in the national competition scene before I think the cheerleading world has kind of exploded, the competitive cheerleading world. But it was a great experience in the mid and late 90s being involved in a team of that caliber. And it certainly challenged me and helped me to be the person I am today.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. I think that's really something special. And that's something that you hear a lot about these days with women in our age. I'm older than you, so I'm 50 and you were in your mid 40s, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you also coach, right? Like you coach cheerleading?
That's right. I'm also a competitive cheerleading coach at that same school that I teach strength and conditioning.
Okay. So you got a lot of things going on. We could probably do a whole episode on how you balance and manage it all, being a wife and mom and trainer and instructor. But today we're going to talk about the importance of like resistance training and mental health. And you have a heart for the subject. And I would love for you to, share with the listeners, like, where do you want to start with that? Like, what would you like to let them know?
Sure. I mean, one of the reasons I love my job is because of the interaction that I get to have with people and the way I get to be a part of a change that takes place inside of them that is good, that is transformative, and that not just impacts their physical health, but every other component of their health. So being able to see how they are connecting better because they're in the gym, being able to see how what they're learning about their resilience and their ability to overcome really improves their self-efficacy for so many other areas of life And so it's just a joy to be a part of that process, as I feel more like a coach than a trainer.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. And many moons ago, probably when was this? Early 2000s, I was a personal trainer for just a little bit and I really enjoyed it. And I totally get what you mean about people coming in with like the mindset of I need to be here, but I don't really want to be here. This is hard for me. But then just being able to build that relationship and that connection with them and showing them like, no, you can do hard things. Like you can do this. You have this in you. This is a part of you. You just haven't tapped into it yet. So I love that. I think that's one of the reasons why I always sit on the fence of like, do I want to go back to that world or do I want to stay being in the therapy room? But I think that it's all connected. Here we are both wanting to help people improve their lives. So, what is the connection between resistance training and mental health, or where do you see that nowadays? Taking place with just kind of coming out of COVID, and we all know mental health right now is just kind of people are having a really difficult time. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, initially, and I actually got my degree in biblical studies thinking I wanted to go into full-time ministry, and I have done some of that. But um, as I alluded to before, what I do feels like a ministry and a way to connect with people that goes so far beyond the superficial as much as my clients will allow.
Sure.
And it's really been awesome. But what I really marvel at, yeah, most people get involved in fitness for the more superficial, and there's nothing wrong with that, reasons. They want to look better,
Mhm.
and some of them just want to feel better. But what ends up happening is um, physiologically, things are taking place and inside of them that they don't even understand, uh, that really transform them as a whole person. So, what I mean is this: when we exercise on a regular basis, it's just such a gift because we're really activating what our bodies were designed to do as we exercise. So, we're giving ourselves a dose, is the acronym that I like to use, but you're basically producing dopamine, you're producing oxytocin,
Mhm.
serotonin, and endorphins as you push your body, and your body is giving off those hormones and helping you um, to feel more connected to the people that you're around, and more social. You're feeling that pleasure because with the dopamine, that reward system, you're feeling less stress because of the serotonin. And then, kind of like that runner's high when you do cardio, the endorphins that you're experiencing mid to after your workout just makes you feel more positive about your situation and the world that you live in. And so, that's what's taking place inside of us outside of how our bodies are adapting to the stress that we're putting on so that our bodies are changing physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I love that dose. Like I can relate to it. And as you were kind of ticking those things off, I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I get that. And I get that's how I feel going to the gym. And, there's some days I don't feel like going to the gym. I really
mhm,
don't. But I know myself well enough that if once I just get there, it's all going to shift. Like I just know if I can just get the clothes on and get out the door,
right.
then I'll be able to experience what you just said, the dose. I really like that. Um, yeah, I think that's fabulous. So what do you think is the obstacle for people like getting themselves to a training group or getting themselves into a gym because lots of people struggle with that. It's not I feel like it.
Yes. I think that for a lot of people, it's an unknown world that's
Mhm.
really intimidating and scary. And so it's helpful to have a relationship connection that if you know that one person or you have connected with that one trainer, that really helps to make it a lot easier to show up, especially those first couple of times. And then once you've built the relationship, either with your trainer or other people in your gym, if you've got, let's say you go to a boutique gym or just a small, independently owned gym where people know one another and they notice when you don't show up,
Mhm.
you begin to have this accountability so that you will continue to return, because there is a phase, of course, when we first start working out, that it's still very unpleasant and we don't necessarily look forward to it. And then at some point we realize when we feel the endorphins kick in and all of the hormones that make us feel more positive about the world, we realize this is actually really, really rewarding, even maybe before we see physical results. And so we build up that, I guess, positive memory and association with the gym if it becomes a friendly place where we start to feel better about ourselves or feel better in general.
Mhm.
And so once we break that barrier, then we can develop that habit. And then we have hopefully the discipline, even when the motivation subsides, the discipline, because we have that memory of, no, I remember what it feels like to go and be glad when my workout was over and feel so much better about my day.
Yeah.
And so that will help. And of course we can get out of that cycle. But I think that the relationship connection, as you mentioned earlier, is really, really key to helping people experience all that being part of a exercise program has to offer. And I say program really loosely, but an exercise experience. And you mentioned how COVID has changed things. And I think we're all aware of how depression and anxiety is at an all-time high, even now, especially with youth. But I definitely believe that we are created for community. We are designed to be around other people. And unfortunately, there are not a lot of, I guess, venues or modalities or reasons to gather around something collectively outside of some people. For them it's church or their faith. For some people it's some kind of affinity for some common hobby. But for a lot of people who now understand and realize that exercise is essential to their mental health and physical well-being, they are connecting in fitness communities.
Mm.
And some of them are online. Some of them are online communities where there's still accountability and they're showing up for each other and they're literally doing a workout together on Zoom. And then some are in the boutique gyms or the larger gyms, or some are part of this kind of wave of what I believe is the future of fitness, in which they're participating in things like DECA events where they're training and feeling more like the athletes that they truly are, or maybe have never been, or realizing they're athletes, but they're training in small groups to go and compete in things like a DECA Fit or a High Rocks event or a CrossFit. And people are really forming almost family-like relationships through training together. And that's what's so interesting. I've been reading a book called The Joy of Movement by Dr. Kelly McGonigal.
Mhm.
And much of it focuses on training in a group environment, in doing maybe even separate events in the same space or separate exercises, and also synchronized exercises toward a common goal, and how you're releasing this oxytocin that is really connecting you with people deeply that you don't even realize. And it is something that I recognize as something that's just in our DNA and that we were designed for. And it's so cool to see. And I've seen this over the 23 years I've been a trainer, but people in gyms building really healthy, beautiful, family-like relationships, supporting one another and feeling less alone in the world because they have that community. And it's just been amazing to see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that. I was just thinking over the years of all the different gyms that I've gone to, and you know, why I stuck so long with a certain gym. And now being over at Baseline, I've been there over a year now. And just kind of like, well, why do I keep going back there? Or why, what is it about that place? And it's the same people in the morning that I see when I'm there that I've gotten to know. And I do feel connected to them. It's interesting, or like, and when I notice when someone isn't there, and when I took over the summer, I have a tendency to kind of wax and wane of going to the gym because of kids and work. And I remember coming in and they were like, "Where have you been? Like, where are you? We know you're working out, but like, where have you been?" I was like, "Oh, I've just been working out at home. It's just been. But I realized like I missed the camaraderie. I missed the fun, the conversation. So I guess that's kind of what you're talking about, right? It doesn't have to be all the time like marathon training in a group or that kind of thing. It's just finding your core people at
Yes.
your place. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like the old show Cheers.
Hmm.
Norm walks in the bar and everybody says, Norm.
Yeah.
This
Right.
feeling of like we know who you are.
Yeah.
Everybody knows your name. Everybody's glad you came, right? But they miss you when you're not there. And it's being a part of something that's bigger than yourself that really matters. It really adds to someone's quality of life.
Yeah.
And being missed, even though you might not even realize it until you're told you were missed, is such a gratifying, affirming
Hmm.
thing to know that you
Hmm.
matter,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
ultimately that's what we want to know. That's what we need to know, that we matter because we belong to something,
Hmm.
and we have a people.
Right.
And yeah, so that's so beautiful to see. And I really did see that throughout COVID. I did not work at Baseline at the time, but I was part of another boutique gym, and I was probably working more than I ever had. We were allowed to stay open here, obviously in South Carolina, under certain rules and restrictions, but I probably trained more sessions and taught classes um, than I ever have. I was very busy, and it was so rewarding because seeing one another in the gym was kind of all we had. A lot of the structure, obviously, the work environment was different for so many people. And we all were kind of feeling like we're in this together.
Hmm.
We're not going through this pandemic alone. And so the joy of seeing everybody at the gym every day throughout the day as people were coming and going and interacting with each other was just really, really cool to see. And even in my group fitness classes, because I taught a lot of cycle classes, and when you involve people, synchronized movement, similar to a Peloton experience, and an incredible sound system and lights, people are having an experience, a shared experience together, working toward a common goal. And I'm telling you, my people, I was amazed at the affection people had toward me. But literally, when I read this book, it made sense.
Mm.
Their bodies are letting off oxytocin. They are thinking, I love this woman, even though she's torturing me. I love my teammates here, and we are taking on the world. And it's that sense that really gives people hope. And I think it really got people through. And I transitioned away from that boutique gym and took a job at the school that I'm now still just teaching 2 classes at. But I had to essentially find other trainers to take over my clients. And I literally, it was like a breakup. Like I was mourning the loss. And I almost feel emotional talking about it. Well, I do feel emotional because even though I would still probably see those people around and I could certainly have them over for dinner and call and text, it would never be the same.
Yeah.
And how many scenarios other than potentially your work scenario do you have in which you're going to see these people Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, and be able to check on them and connect with them, and they are reliable people that are just solid in your life. And we need that, and we miss that. And so I think exercise is, and gyms are, a way to connect people, and certainly people that have all kinds of differences. That's another thing I love about being part of a gym community. I don't think I'd ever want to just have a small space where I would train one person at a time, like a studio. I did that when I first started, but because I just love, enjoy people, all kinds of personalities. And I so enjoy, meeting people who are, you've got a 75-year-old retired physician working out beside a 23-year-old graduate student. And then you've got a stay-at-home mom, and you've got all these people that are connecting that might otherwise never know one another and may not have much in common. But when you train together, that doesn't even matter.
I have an awesome opportunity for you for my friends over at Therapy Notes. Are you feeling overwhelmed by a sea of paperwork and a labyrinth of appointments? Let Therapy Notes be your peaceful haven. Known as the leader in electronic health records, Therapy Notes shines brightly in the dynamic field of mental health care. Their round the clock live phone support, earning a stellar 4.9 star rating on trustpilot.com and Google, mirrors their dedication. And Therapy Notes brings you a comprehensive range of services: streamlined billing, effective scheduling, precise note taking, and innovative telehealth options. Exciting news for prescribers: the introduction of ePrescribe is set to transform your practice. And if you're thinking of transitioning from another EHR, Therapy Notes ensures a smooth switch, offering complimentary import of your demographic data, setting you up for a smooth journey from the start. So join over 100,000 mental health professionals who have already embarked on their journey with Therapy Notes. Begin with a 2-month complimentary trial, no obligations. Just click the link in the show notes or navigate directly to checkout and use promo code LISA at therapynotes.com. Dive into the Therapy Notes adventure and see why it stands out as a leading light in the industry. With Therapy Notes, you're not just selecting an EHR, you're navigating towards success. Right. Yeah, that's so true. I just think about the people that are there that are working with other trainers, when I'm there in the morning, and it's really inspiring, and it's like, "Oh, I hope when I'm that person's age, I'm moving like that," or and then I've had people come up to me and say, I wish my daughter would be into fitness like you." And I just kind of was talking one day about, well, how about this or how about that? And that person reported back that the suggestions that I had, she was able to give to her daughter, and she's moving more, and she's, just finding joy in the movement. And I just thought that was really special. So you connect with all kinds of people, and you're building relationships, and that's what this is all about. I mean, that's what makes us human, is the fact that we can build and connect and grow relationships with others. And so what would you suggest to somebody who's listening and they get it? They're like, yeah, I really would like to do this. I would like to, find a community of, a workout community that I could just get into and hopefully help with my own mental health, emotional
Mhm.
wellness. What do you suggest for them to take that first step, or how would they get going?
Yes. Okay. So I think that if it were me, moving, let's say, to a new city, and I was going to take that first step, I would look for a small gym, a boutique style gym, um, and just make a phone call or reach out. And at baseline, you reach out, you're going to talk to Matt, and
Mhm,
you're probably going to immediately feel like this is a welcoming person who is kind, and this environment is very promising.
mhm,
And so I think just taking that first step of looking up the gyms in your area and looking for a smaller environment, reaching out and trying to connect and seeing what are the steps to onboarding. Is it easy to just walk in, and how much assistance do I need, and how much is my budget? I guess would be the next question I would ask myself. And then based on that, if you can start with a personal trainer, I highly recommend it. And that is not necessarily going to be easy for a lot of people in terms of their budget. But if you could just work with someone for 3 months to get you confident and comfortable and have a plan to move forward, I think that that would be really, really helpful. If not, I would look into group fitness classes in an environment where you can find maybe a cycling class or a yoga class or a Pilates class, or there are a lot of classes that are strength training classes that and a lot of women might feel incredibly comfortable getting all the cardio in, but we know that we need strength training, both men and women, throughout our lives, and especially as we age. And so, looking for a strength training class that you could just kind of start working into. And if you
mhm,
want to work independently after that, then and you feel confident and you have a plan, wonderful. But those are the things that I would look for. Now, you could go to a chain gym and they might have an incredible system for getting you introduced to the gym and getting you into classes. They might offer classes, and that might be a good fit. But typically, my experience is you're going to have the more experienced trainers at a boutique style gym and a little bit warmer environment.
mm.
Maybe I'm a
Yeah.
little biased, but that's been my
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm not. I think that's spot on, biased or not. Like I've joined enough gyms over the past 30 years that I know what you're saying. And there are going to be some bigger gyms out there that might offer you like free personal training sessions. But they're really just from what I've seen, it's how to use this machine, how to use that machine. The hope is that they would then upsell you into some type of like 3 to 6 month package of personal training. And for some people that might be, that might work best.
Mm.
And so it is good to like check around and know what your personality prefers and what you're looking for and if you need childcare, is that something that you need to go to a gym that offers childcare. And I mean, but I guess the main point is just start, like pick up the phone, get on their websites, take the free trials, give everything a try that you can, and just see what you like, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You're gonna continue to do something that you like and that you look forward to. Like I would not be I always catch like some slack when I say this, but I don't like yoga. Like I don't want to take a yoga class. So I know me, like that's not where I am gonna go. I know I need to stretch, y'all. I know I need to stretch. Don't worry.
Me
I
too.
know.
So
Right. Like I know, but I would much rather be in something that's gonna offer strength training and has, I just know my personality and I want to see the gym. I want to see the machines. I want to see what they have to offer. And then also not just that, but like how busy does the gym get during the times that I can go, or so these are things that you got to think about. And I have so many girlfriends who belong to gyms that the number one reason they continue to go is they love the community. They
love the people.
love their people there. So, yeah, I mean, it's so important. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this. Is there anything else that people should know about training and emotional wellness that you haven't touched on yet?
Mhm. Well, I mean, I think most of your listeners are probably familiar with all of the additional benefits of training on a regular basis. I mean, we know it builds confidence, a sense of independence, and enhances your mental focus and clarity, which I have two. I have a almost 21-year-old and almost 18-year-old, and that's what I emphasize to them as well. It's not about just building muscle, but I mean, the mental focus and clarity that it brings after your workout is incredible. It also promotes hormonal balance, promotes better sex. Let's be honest.
Right.
And really enhances your gratitude and joy. So, it's there for everyone. And I wish that there was an easy way to onboard all people to introduce this in some form to their lives, because when I was much younger, I saw it as just an aesthetic thing. And that's really one reason I wanted to become more of a strength and conditioning coach than just a personal trainer, because I wanted it to mean more to people and it not be about just how you look, but what you can now do. Look what you can do. Let's celebrate what you can do. But I just wish that this was something that all people, even thinking about, they might have a disability, they might have a significant amount of weight to lose, but not letting that prevent you from trying to do what you can do and
Mhm.
getting started and doing something. And you just need the right environment in order to get that going and keep that going. And it's true that the saying is that the heaviest weight to lift in the gym is the front door.
Mhm.
And it's just getting people there. And like you said, just getting dressed in your car. And then that last, open the door to the gym. And once you get in there, then you repeat it and you repeat it, you realize this is such a gift. And it's hard to imagine my life without it because of all these benefits.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage people to not let any obstacles or excuses get in their way. I'm about to start training online and helping people plan kind of their workouts based on an online workout platform that I can kind of curate their workouts for them. But I mean, if you're not able to get to the gym, these are things that you can do at home, connecting with trainers, connecting with a community of people. So I would just encourage everyone to whatever obstacles they have, to not just go, oh, I can't, but really challenge themselves to figure out ways to work around their obstacles so that they could still move forward in this and hold on to it as long as they physically can as they age, as I'm so fortunate that my parents have done. It is so cool to see my mom who and my dad, who are in their mid late 70s, still working out. My mom still goes to fitness classes and connects with a community there, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And boy, did they need each other over COVID. My goodness. So it has just been a joy to see that my parents are continuing that. And I would encourage it
Yeah.
for any.
Yeah, I love that. That was really great. So if people want to connect with you or maybe learn more about your, coaching that you offer, how can they find you?
Sure. I am on Instagram probably more than anything. So I'm not even going to give you my Facebook information, and I'm not really on any other platforms, but you can find me under Laura Jones underscore fit.
And I'll put that in the show notes, you guys, so you can just click on it in the show notes and you can find her there. So you're saying you're going to be offering like online coaching options in the future. So okay,
Yes.
cool.
Actually starting that in January, working on that right now.
Nice. That's
Um,
exciting.
yeah. In addition to that, you can certainly email me at ljonesyep at gmail.com. So that's
Okay.
Laura or ljones, yep, at gmail.com.
Okay. And so all that will be in the show notes, you guys. So you can just go down there and click on it. Before we end, though, I know this morning when I saw you at the gym, I mentioned to you that last night I was reading something. I don't even know how I found it about young adults not like they're just having a hard time, getting out and creating new relationships and connecting or even dating. And I know we briefly talked about that at the gym this morning, but I just think that, being able to, this is such a great way for them to build new communities and build new relationships and, have a way to get outside of their homes or off the online gamings and game consoles and like actually get into something that's really, really positive and healthy.
Yeah.
Um, and that was something for me in my mid 20s. That's kind of like when I really truly discovered the gym. I was working all the time and I wasn't married, had kids at that point, and I was just like, I needed something outside of work to connect with people. And that's when I discovered the gym because I didn't really play sports. I didn't have a team that I was a part of. And so I'm always suggesting to people that they, and they're young adults, like go to the gym, meet people at the gym. Is that something that you see also like in your work? Like, do you see young adults kind of struggling right now?
Yes. I mean, I feel like probably I see a lot of younger women more willing to be part of the boutique gym experience with classes because they've already made those relationship connections. But for the younger generation, yeah, I do. I mean, I see that there's you know, we think we have anxiety going into the gym. A lot of people in the younger generation, people in their late teens, early 20s, experience, I think, even more social anxiety in general. So imagine not just going into an unknown environment, but going into an environment where you can imagine all the scenarios in which you could embarrass yourself in a gym, right? But yeah, I think it's unfortunate, and that's why I'm hoping that some of those platforms like the Deca Fit competitions and things that are more athletic are going to be helpful for onboarding younger people that may have been athletes in high school or maybe not, but are willing to go, just like you mentioned earlier. I think like people now have softball leagues, adult softball leagues, or kickball leagues, and it's connecting them with other people, and they're actually being invited into an activity and not just come to my gym and figure out what to do. It's like, come do this
Mm.
training with me, and we're going to train together, and then we're going to go compete together, or we're on the same team. And
Yes.
that is really going to, I think, hopefully grow. Those opportunities will grow in number and get more young people in the gym.
Yeah. And I know my daughter will hate me saying this, but I'm so glad that she is now, training at baseline with a trainer and kind of I'm seeing, I just, not every parent can do that. We have made some adjustments with our budget so she can do
Right.
that right now because she's not playing club volleyball this year. But man, I just see it's just been so cool to see her, kind of confidence come through in a different way, and absolutely love it. And being that it's not me or her father that's training her,
That's right. It's so
it's a really
helpful.
good
Yeah.
experience for everybody.
And I'm training a 14-year-old that's not my daughter, and it's just so rewarding. I mean, like, already her confidence has increased so much, and it's just so great to see.
Yeah, I would love it if and maybe this is something to figure out for next year in the spring, is like a way to bring some girls together to do like a strength training club. I think that would be really fantastic. But maybe we can make a go of it this year. Maybe this will be, something to shoot for if we have enough interest. If I can get her to see how that would be a good thing. I
Oh,
don't know.
I think so. And I do, and this is probably for another conversation, but I do think young women are seeing where strength is actually an attribute, and it is actually beautiful, versus generations ago, the skinny was more of the, and I do think that I've seen a trend that way where women want to do squats and they want to squat heavy and that kind of thing. So, and certainly in the weight room, I'm teaching all girls classes right now in strength and conditioning.
Oh, cool.
And I've loved just seeing these girls get excited about how much they can max out at, or how fast they can do, their 40-yard sprint. But they are excited about what they can do and not focused on how they look. And that is such a positive thing.
It is, totally. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I love your message. And you guys reach out to Laura if you have questions or want to coach with her. She is phenomenal. I see her training people all the time in the gym, so I can attest to her knowledge, her wisdom, and her enthusiasm for what she does. So, wow, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, gosh, anytime. It's important to stress that these episodes are not meant to take the place of any work you're doing with your therapist or doctor. In fact, please run these ideas by your counselor or doctor before you act on them to make sure you are ready for them or even a fit for the suggestions. I can't stress this enough that each person is unique and their situation is unique. So please talk to your doctor before starting anything new that we might be suggesting. And the Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard and the information provided by me is solely intended for informational and entertainment purposes and is not a substitute for advice, diagnosis, or treatment regarding medical or mental health conditions. Although I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, the views expressed on the site or any related content should not be taken for medical or psychiatric advice. Always consult with your physician before making any decisions related to your physical or mental health. The Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard is edited and engineered by Chelsea Weaver. If you're looking to start a podcast or ready to take the editing off of your plate, be sure to visit chelseaweaverpodcasting.com. Well, that wraps up another episode of the Therapy Show with Lisa Mustard. I know there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and I'm thankful you've chosen to listen to mine.
Be sure to visit lisamustard.com to access the show notes and discover more fantastic content.
And I'd be grateful if you subscribe to the show. Thank you.